Hello everyone and welcome to Breaking Today on this beautiful Tuesday, the 24th of September 2019. My name is Abul Ahmed and our sign language interpreter tonight is Michael Maithia. We have a lot lined up for you, but first, here are the highlights. Dutch tycoon Top Cohen laid to rest with widow Sarah Wairimu participating. CBK reiterates that deadline for changing the old 1,000 shillings note will not be extended. Only a third of the Kenya's population is adequately prepared for retirement. And in sports, Malkia strikers wait for a first win in the ongoing FIVB World Cup continues. Welcome to the program. Youths around the globe attending the United Nations Climate Action Summit in New York on Monday criticized failures by world leaders to protect the globe. The youths, most of whom expressed their dissatisfaction in a poetic manner, demanded sustainable solutions for the climate crisis. Jolene King has the story.
You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones.
Swedish climate activist and Nobel Peace Prize nominee Greta Thunberg did not mince her words as she addressed heads of state and government, business leaders, as well as senior representatives from civil society from around the world at the opening of the 2019 United Nations Climate Action Summit.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
At the day-long event held at the UN New York headquarters, delegates explained what they were doing to better adapt to climate change, cut emissions, and improve on the commitments that were made under the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement.
We face at least 3 degrees Celsius of global heating by the end of the century. I will not be there, but my granddaughters will. And your grandchildren too. I refuse to be an accomplice in the destruction of their own and only home. I will not be a silent witness to the crime of dooming our present and destroying their right to a sustainable future. It is my obligation, our obligation, to do everything to stop the climate crisis before it stops us.
The Climate Action Summit was preceded by the Youth Climate Summit over the weekend on Saturday, the first ever of its kind that gathered some 1,000 young people from over 100 countries who showcased their solutions on climate change at the United Nations. Kenya was represented by 12 youth delegates who were also given a chance to address heads of state.
For those of us in Africa, adaptation and resilience has become our focus in our effort to survive the climate crisis. We are the lowest emitters but suffer the most. But this is not the time to shift blame. This is the time to work together. We, the over 625 million youth in Africa, therefore ask for support, especially technical, financial, and skills transfer of the youth in their action and innovations towards climate change mitigation and adaptation.
This is the first time in history that national delegations had youth representation in line with the UN Resolution 72-146 that encourages member states to include young people in their delegations. During the summit, 16 child petitioners aged between 8 to 17, including Greta Thunberg, presented a landmark official complaint to the United Nations Committee on the Rights of the Child to protest the lack of government action on climate crisis.
I just hope something good will come out of it. I hope it will have a good outcome, but we also have to prepare ourselves for the worst and continue even though if it has a bad outcome.
As citizens of the planet, as victims of the pollution that's been carelessly dumped into our land, air, and sea for generations, and as children whose rights are being violated. Today, we are fighting back.
The Climate Change Summit, among others, highlights how more and more young people are taking charge of the future. Jolene King, Switch TV.
Now, only a third of the country's population is adequately prepared for retirement, According to a new survey commissioned by the Association of Kenya Insurers, the low preparedness was blamed on various factors, including high cost of living, not having enough income to save, lack of saving discipline, lack of investment ideas or options, among others.
The research covering 10 counties shows that people in rural areas believe that they are slightly better prepared for retirement than those in urban areas at 32% and 27% levels of preparedness respectively. Looking at gender differences, females reported to be more prepared than their male counterparts at 31% and 27% respectively. The report also suggests that most Kenyans hope to retire at the age of 58. The survey, conducted in April this year, featured 586 interviews from Nairobi, Machakos, Nyeri, Mombasa, Kisumu, Meru, Vihiga, Eldoret, Kericho, and Garissa. The sample was split equally between urban and rural towns.
It looks like Kenyans think that they only need 20% to finance their expenses when they retire, which is actually contrary to research findings.
According to the survey, the National Social Security Fund, NSSF, received the highest level of awareness as a retirement savings plan amongst all study participants, urban and rural alike. The report also indicated that most Kenyans want to be involved in income-generating activities and that they do not favor the option of relying on their children to take care of them in retirement. At the age of 35 years and upwards, the level of preparedness for retirement steadily increased, while the younger population, the level of preparedness was relatively low.
Basically, what we found was that there was high awareness of the National Social Security Fund across all age groups, across the urban and rural divide. But when it came to other pension or retirement savings plans, there was very low awareness across. There was also a desire to save or prepare for retirement. So many people's fallback plan was personal savings as far as retirement is concerned.
Except for NSSF, awareness levels of other savings plans varied with age, with a higher awareness in urban areas compared to rural areas. Geographically, populations in Nyeri, Meru, and Kericho had the highest levels of retirement preparedness, while those working in formal employment were more prepared than those in informal employment. Hussein Ahmed, Switch TV.
The Ministry of Agriculture has launched an agri-nutrition curriculum, with the main theme being enhancing agri-nutrition approaches for improved nutrition among Kenyans. Christian Muriuki with more.
Malnutrition in Kenya continues to be a challenge, with about 20% of the total population lacking minimum dietary requirements to sustain a healthy and product lifestyle. The Jubilee government has prioritized agriculture in its Big Four agenda, which reflects its commitment to ensure 100% food and nutrition security. In a bid to achieve this, the Third National Agri-Nutrition Conference hopes to bring together global efforts that can address malnutrition through agriculture. The conference also provides a platform for sharing and learning on practical areas that can contribute to addressing malnutrition in the country.
We are promoting blending of sorghum with maize, of cassava with maize, of beans with maize, so that we can create products other than just maize flour, products that are nutritious, and products that give us food security. But to make this shift, it also depends on the consumers. You have to demand for these foods.
According to the Principal Secretary, further, it is important to address challenges facing food production in the country in order to ensure there is increase in food production.
With a galloping population, if we don't shift deliberately towards better genetics, we will not be food secure. So there has to be deliberate effort. Whether we are talking about animal genetics or plant genetics, it has to be very deliberate.
The expected outcomes of the conference include sustainable, community-driven and accountable programming for agri-nutrition, focus on professionalization of agriculture, and fixing feed systems for fish and livestock. Christine Muriuki, Switch TV.
Let us now shift gears to matters health. And it is said true happiness comes from the activity of the mind and exercise of the body. Philips company, a lighting and health technology company, has launched a campaign in this regard aimed at improving the cardiovascular health of Kenyans through a cycling and jogging challenge dubbed Back to Rhythm in partnership with the Kenya Red Cross Society. Take a look.
The World Health Organization estimates that cardiovascular diseases are in the #1 cause of death globally. With this in mind, Philips, a light and health technology company, in celebration of the Heart Awareness Month set for September 29th, had partnered with Kenya Red Cross Society in a campaign dubbed Back to Rhythm, aimed at increasing awareness with regards to cardiovascular diseases, popularly known as CVDs. The campaign is hoped to reach more people and sensitize those affected on how to use automated external defibrillators, which are vital to patients with heart conditions.
And we're here on the Back to Rhythm campaign, which is organized together with the Philips Foundation and the Red Cross of Kenya. So we're very excited to actually partner again for the third time in a row. We started in 2017 by this campaign, and it's all about heart awareness. To really make sure, and actually this month is the heart month, to really make sure that we live healthy, we eat healthy, we exercise as well, and that's what it's all about. So we actually have dedicated this month to talk about this campaign. We do physical challenges, and we see it on the background of ourselves that people are riding the bicycles.
It's worth noting that the Ministry of Health, with the support of WHO, launched national guidelines for the prevention and management of cardiovascular diseases. Philips Foundation has to this end been able to partner with the government and other organizations to try and achieve this goal.
There's an activation which is part of a big campaign called Back to Rhythm that Philips, in collaboration with the Kenya Red Cross, has been running since 2017. And this Back to Rhythm campaign is really run during the month of September, which is Heart Awareness Month, and which culminates with World Heart Day on the 29th of September.
This being the third activation this year, activities include stationary cycling, walking as well as jogging, with a challenge for this year being clocking 10,000 kilometers of running, cycling and walking. Youth as well as the older generation have to this end been urged to maintain a healthy lifestyle by eating balanced diets and exercising regularly.
There are a series of activities and opportunities where we are discussing on heart health with public, with government, with different stakeholders. And one of the part of the activation is actually a challenge to the citizens of Kenya to come out and either run or bike up to 10,000 kilometers, because that will allow the Kenya Red Cross to receive 25 AEDs, which stands for Automated External Defibrillators.
It is important to remember to always do your exercises every day and to eat a nutritious meal, just to keep your cardiovascular system in good shape. Sally Limo, Switch TV.
3, 2, 1.
Thank you very much, Sally Limo, for that story, but she forgot to say that I defeated Kevin Kimathi in that challenge, covering 500 kilometers. Well, we now take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more. Welcome back to Breaking Today, and thanks for watching Switch TV. Remember, you can interact with us on our social media platform on Facebook and Twitter. You'll get us on at Switch TV Kenya, or you can send an SMS to the number 22999. Moving on, the late Dutch billionaire businessman Tob Cohen was on Tuesday laid to rest at the Jewish cemetery in Nairobi after Monday's postponement. His late wife, Sarah Wairimu, were among the attendants following a court order allowing her to pay last respect to her murdered husband.
Guests, friends and family members of the late Tob Cohen started to trickle in at the Jewish cemetery in Pangani, Nairobi for the final bid of the departed beloved, who was reported missing on July 20, 2019, and later discovered by DCA after 50 days of searching inside an underground water tank at his own house compound in Kitusuru, Nairobi. Sarah Wairimu, Cohen's besieged wife, was among the first arrivals after she obtained court orders allowing her to attend her murdered husband's burial ceremony. After a long wait, his body finally arrived at around 4 p.m. to be accorded the last respects. But to closely cover the event, members of the press struggled to find the best pictures. The Jewish funeral ceremony observed rituals that we couldn't closely follow due to the distance, that involved saying of Psalms 91 Bible verse 7 times as the priest moved closer to the grave. The remains were later lowered into the grave and last rites performed to symbolize the closure of Cohen's chapter that was filled with questions over when, how, and where to bury the late Tob Cohen.
The next thing now that this front has been closed is a court issue. So we will not comment about anybody's guilt or anybody's innocence at this particular moment.
The remains of the Dutch businessman Tob Cohen have finally been buried, following Monday's postponement because of lack of quorum of priests to conduct the funeral ceremony. What remains now is a court process that will hopefully bring justice to his killers. Givers Mana, Switch TV.
That's our very own international reporter, Giverson Maina. More than 1,000 youths from Maasai Community living in Taita Taveta County over the weekend underwent a rite of passage that marked the transition from teenagehood to adulthood. This is one of the major cultural and traditional practices that the Maasai community has embraced to date. And as Nixon Kisaka reports, this special event is normally accompanied with a feasting ceremony. Take a look.
The Maasai community is among the communities in the country popularly known for fully embracing their cultural practices, among them being the transition of young men and women to adulthood. The Maasai elders reiterate that this transition process and practice is very crucial for every Maasai Moran.
Tunatumia wazee kutubariki hawa watoto wetu na pia tuombee Mwenyezi Mungu kama mapadri, kama maaskofu, pasta akaitumia hiyo maneno.
This occasional event saw the Maasai community in Taveta hold a ceremony over the weekend where a number of Morans graduated.
Iko na a lot of benefits to us kwa sababu inatufanya to graduate from one level to another due to our behavior. Zamani kama kuna venye tulikuwa tuna behave hivi, sasa tumekuwa watu wazima. Kiangalia mtu kama huyu mtu mzima, mtu kama mimi mtu mzima. So siwezi fanya kitu ya kitoto.
Maendeleo ya masomo ama maendeleo hizi ambao tulikuwa tumekuwa pamoja na serikali, ilikuwa tunatahiri wasichana, tukakuja kukataa, saa hii hawatahiri. Saa hii imekuwa hata watoto ikifika miaka 20 ndio wanaolewa.
Through sensitization, the elders stated that the community is gradually abandoning misguided traditions which were previously being practiced, especially on women, for instance, female genital mutilation.
Ni mila, kama naona wasichana hajatahiriwa, naona kama ni sio mtu. Lakini kama nimetahiriwa, naona sasa nimekuwa mama, imekuwa mwanamke ya kijana au ya mzee. Lakini saa hii nimekuja kubadilisha, nimeingia digital. Nimekuwa sasa watu ambao kuna sheria ya dunia hii.
Kitu muhimu ni kwamba tamaduni hizi zinawatayarisha muwe vijana na muwe wazee ambao mnaheshimu utamaduni, mnaheshimu sheria na pia mnaheshimu serikali. Kwa hivyo muendelee hivyo hivyo.
The one of its kind event concluded with the participating Morans and elders sharing a meal, with 1,500 of them graduating to adulthood. Nixon Kisaka, Switch TV.
And to some business news now. The Central Bank of Kenya had received 116 million pieces of the 1,000 shilling old notes by September 1st this year, with CBK Governor Dr. Patrick Njoroge insisting that the September deadline will not be extended. According to him, 91% of the currency in value terms collected by the beginning of the month was less than 2 million shillings. Speaking during a post-monetary policy meeting on Tuesday, Njoroge said Tanzania and Uganda have already finished the conversion of the old 1,000 shilling notes, noting that business and traders are at liberty to do what they can to exchange their old notes before the deadline. Several businesses and traders started giving deadlines from last week, with some saying they won't accept the old 1,000 notes starting tomorrow. Safaricom, for instance, said M-Pesa shops will not be accepting the old notes after September 26.
Basically, according to the Gazette notice, the transactions will take place, meaning in terms of conversion of your 1,000 banknotes that you have, 1,000 Kenya shillings banknotes, the older ones, and you want to transact and get the new ones. Of course, it has to be clear that you can still deposit things, right, as before. There's no problem. So you can make a deposit transaction as you at your bank. The usual rules or regulations about banking applies. So even in the jargon, even things relating to KYC, that is know your customer, will apply.
Let us now get sporty. The wait for the national women's volleyball team to record a win or even grab a set at the ongoing FIVB World Cup continued after losing their 8th consecutive match on Tuesday. Kenya lost to defending champions China in 3 straight sets of 12-25, 12-25 and 14-25. The East Africans will travel to Osaka to face South Korea on the 27th of this month before facing Russia 2 days later, then face African champions Cameroon.
Looking for one last big swing, didn't get it. Wanyama stepping in there. Chumba will have another go.
Despite tough competition from well-funded and established teams like KPA and Equity Hawks, University of Nairobi women basketball team, UN Dynamites, head coach Juma Ken says he is impressed with the team's performance so far after just getting promoted to the Kenya Basketball Federation Premier League this season. Dynamites got into the top 5 position in the Women's KBF League standings after a 57-55 win over USIU Flames over the weekend.
Okay, in the league, like teams like Equity, who are the defending champs, and KPA, they have an advantage because them they recruit to give employment or because like they give allowance. So it becomes difficult. And like my team is a university. 90% of the players are students. So normally after about 4 years, the player graduates, go, unless you talk to her to remain. That's a normal problem because us after some time we lose players and we get others. But in terms of competition, Equity and KPA are normally up on top, but we are trying to catch up. Like for example, like in my university, the ladies perform better. We started from the county league, that is the Nairobi Basketball League. We went to Division 1, we played, we came to Premier. Our men were in Premier, that is Terra, but then they were taken to Division 1. So in terms of in my institution, the ladies perform well. And it's only up to this year that the men reach the finals. Otherwise, ladies have been performing very well in the country, both club and national team.
On to some football. Remember, yesterday night, Lionel Messi was voted... Barcelona's Lionel Messi won the best men's player at the Best FIFA Football Awards in Milan as Juventus' Cristiano Ronaldo and Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk missed out on the top prize. With United States forward Megan Rapinoe winning the Best Women's Player Award, our sports reporter Kevin Kimathi compiled last night's moments and filed this report.
It was all about grit and glamour as global football stars came together for the lavish 2019 FIFA Awards ceremony held at Milan's iconic Teatro All Scala on Monday night. Barcelona and Argentina superstar Lionel Messi beat Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk and Juventus' Cristiano Ronaldo to win his 6th FIFA Player of the Year award. The Barcelona star scored more league goals than any other player in Europe last season, netting 36 times to help the Spanish side win another La Liga title. United States superstar Megan Rapinoe won the Women's Player of the Year award ahead of fellow American Alex Morgan and England's Lucy Bronze. Rapinoe claimed the Golden Ball for being the best player at the 2019 Women's World Cup as she helped the United States defend the title. After receiving the award, Rapinoe, who has been on the forefront of fighting inequalities in football, gave a powerful speech highlighting the existence of racism and homophobia in modern football.
Some of the stories that have inspired me most this year, Raheem Sterling and Koulibaly, their incredible performances on the field, but the way that they've taken on the disgusting racism that they have to face this year, but probably for their whole lives. The young Iranian woman who eventually set herself on fire because she wasn't able to go to the game. The one-out MLS player, Mr. Martin. We really want to have meaningful change. What I think is most inspiring would be if everybody other than Raheem Sterling and Koulibaly, if they were as outraged about racism as they were. If everybody else was that. If everybody was as outraged about homophobia as the LGBTQ.
And that story brings us to the end of Breaking Today tonight. But before I leave, let me go through some of your feedback. Abula nipe 1K note nikabadilisha CBK. Breaking Today with Abula. Iman James from Mombasa. Usiniambie eti double K alikushinda. Alicheza kikevo hivi. I won. Iman James from Mombasa. Watching Breaking Today from Mombasa. I'm Irene. Rest in peace, Cohen, at long last. Good evening, Abula. I'm a winner watching from Mombasa. I really love Switch TV News. Good work. Asante sana. Thank you for watching. My name is Abula Ahmed. And our sign language interpreter is Michael Maithia. Have a lovely night.